declaration or to appear before him or her to give evidence or to produce any document in that person's possession or under his or her control, which has a bearing on the matter investigated and may question such person thereon. 3B, an investigator or any person duly authorized thereto by him or her may request an explanation from he or she reasonably suspects of having information which has a bearing on a matter being or to be investigated.
So, Ms. Trent, are you saying that you're relying on section 24(1), 24 subsection 1, 24 subsection 3, those provisions, that's what you rely on for being able to assist a law enforcing agency?
Correct, at their request, yes.
Okay. And it's all those provisions that you rely on? You know, you can respond.
Honorable James.
Yeah, I'd just like to get clarity. These provisions that you reference here, are they?
Yes, this is the IPID Act.
And this forms the basis of the work you do?
No, it is that they can request assistance from us. So, sorry. If I can just have...
Take your time.
Thank you.
Basically, what the question is, Ms. Trent, if I can assist on, is that you have said in your statement at paragraph 18 that you rely on these provisions for the basis of assisting IPID. And the question is, which provision exactly do you, and why is it applicable to you or to Paul O'Sullivan Associates to be able to assist in IPID work?
That we can assist?
No, the provision. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm...
Take your time.
So,
perhaps Honorable James, Honorable James has asked the question. Can we perhaps continue and then give the witness an opportunity, time to think about it?
I'm fine with that, Chair. Let's move on. Thanks.
No, Chair, we're not moving on. She must point in this thing that she has attached here, where they say ask for assistance. She must go there. This was attached by her after reading it and after being a non-practicing attorney. She told us it's that. Know how you quote the law? She must go to where it helps her, because there is no such a thing here.
so if I...
Are you able to respond to the question?
Sorry, I just... concentrate. Yeah.
Are you perhaps at 3B of the provision?
Yes, the point is that if they need assistance, they can ask anyone to assist. Okay, let me rather... An investigator may request an explanation. Okay.
Okay. At 3B, Ms. Trent, investigator or any person duly authorized thereto by him or her may request an explanation from any person whom he or she reasonably information which has a bearing on a matter being or to be investigated.
Correct.
And on that.
No, I think that's...
Some water.
So basically, my understanding is that if they need assistance in something, they can ask for it. And they were allowed to do so, and there was no issue with that.
Become apparent as we move on. We are now at paragraph 19.
Just
Okay.
wait, the two honorable members, Honorable James and Honorable Malema. Let me take Honorable Malema first.
Now, I want us to agree with the witness that what she has quoted here is not helping what she's saying. She says they can legally and all of that. It's a matter we can debate. That's fine. But in terms of what she's quoting here, such a thing, and she has to agree that this quotation is not saying what she's saying. But that legally they can ask for assistance. Maybe the kid Walo is saying it. As we go along, it will come apparent that they can ask for such a thing. But where we are now, 21 and 3A, 3B, and 4, all of that, there is no relevance to what she's saying. And she needs to concede that before.
She does not have an answer to the question. Ms. Trent.
Ask her if she agrees with me that this does not speak to what she's saying.
I disagree, but I think it would probably be up to you to decide at the end of the day. It wouldn't be for me to.
Quote what you are saying. Quote it here. Is the purpose of putting of cutting this thing and putting it in your affidavit was precisely reference to it. Refer to where it says what you are saying.
What the honorable member is saying is that this committee is not dealing with evidence. Yes, it is a fact that IPID may ask for assistance, but evidence in law that provides for that fact or that substantiates. If you say you went to IPID, requested you to assist, the honorable members are saying IPID is a government institution regulated by law, legislation that regulates the operations of IPID, including it as an organ of state. So a provision in national legislation. That's what they want to hear from you. If it is not on the document, but you know section 26, subsection 7, refer them to that provision.
Would you like an opportunity to respond?
Honorable James, do you want to make an addition?
No, Chair, I'll get back to this when I question ons kan nie bla nie. Ms. Trent is unable to answer and respond. Let's move on.
Yeah, before Honorable Ngola.
No, Chair, I was going to say even, I think completely Section 24 of IPID Act is irrelevant to the point, but even subsection 3B that she's relying on explanation is also irrelevant, but we can expand that when it's our turn to.
Yeah, but before we proceed, can she concede that she does not have a provision in law to back the statement that she made here?
Can you just repeat the question?
The question is what the honorable members have asked here in national legislation governing IPID. Are you relying on to substantiate your statement? Are you Advocate Mukiza?
Ms. Trent, what the chairperson is asking you is, at paragraph 18, you say that you were empowered, well, not empowered, those are not the words you use. Let's use the words that you use in your statement. At paragraph 18 of your statement, you say you were satisfied. Line, the third line, you say, I was satisfied that in terms of the Independent Police Investigative Directorate
Yeah.
Act, when you say they, you mean Mahlangu and Binang. Those are the investigators from IPID. And you say they were entitled assistance in their investigations and were entitled to provide this assistance they request. So my understanding of this paragraph, you can comment. My understanding of this paragraph is that you're saying once you met with Mr. Mahlangu, you satisfied yourself that you were with the work of investigations that they were doing as investigators at IPID. And for that, you rely on the provisions that you've pasted of your affidavit. Now, what the chairperson and the two honorable members have put to you is which provision exactly fied with that you could, which provision do you rely on for the basis of being able to do these calculations based on what you've pasted based on the provisions you've set out at page 9. And there are four different sections that you set out. Is there any specific one that you remember right now, or would you like to deal with that as we go along? Or that these provisions do not apply to you?
As I understand, this is that if one of the IPID investigators requested assistance, that it would be lawful and that we would be able to give assistance. And that, and I interpreted from the purposes of conducting the investigation made out
Where are you reading from?
from 3A.
Okay, yes, you may continue.
Or I don't know what.
No. It's your testimony, Ms. Trent. I don't wish to tell you what you say. There's no specific answering to the two honorable members that have posed the question to you. It's a question of clarity.
Okay.
They're trying to get clarification on whether you still rely on these provisions for the work that Paulo Sullivan's and associates conducted with IPID. Are these the provisions?
Yes.
Okay. So if you say you rely on these provisions, which one?
What I've put down here.
Okay. Would you like to expand?
No, I can, I just guide me.
Chair, I'm asking a specific question. I'm saying to you, go straight where this act says that. You just say to me,
Okay.
3A or whatever, and then you read it out.
3B, an investigator or any person duly authorized thereto by him or her explanation from any person whom he or she reasonably suspects of having information which has a bearing on a matter being or to be investigated.
So IPID doesn't suspect that you've got any information of any sort. If you are saying they assist them. This speaks about speaking to any person who might have information or anything of that sort. You were asked by, I assist them in their investigation. Which law gives IPID such power to go to a private institution to help them with investigation?
Malema, I understand your question now. It was purely on a, not to assist the entire investigation. It was, would you be able to do some desktop research on this, or do a person of interest or whatever, but it wasn't assisting in the entire investigation. By the time it got to IPID, there were statements, evidence that was already there. So when it got to IPID, that was the work that had been done by Forensics for Justice. And you said, look, we've got resources and whatever, please use them if you need. But we didn't run an investigation.
So you never assisted IPID with any investigation. They've never asked you to assist them with any investigation.
No, they have. What I'm saying, no, I'm not saying we didn't assist. I'm saying in the entire investigation, like I wasn't sitting with them and going through everything. If they came across something where they needed a search on something or something like that, then they would, but it wasn't as if we were investigating with them, if I'm making sense.
Chair, let me leave it here.
I'm worried that you are a bit nervous and it makes it very difficult for us to get the. Can we take at least 5 minutes a break to calm down? I'm worried that we would not be able to extract evidence this nervous. So if we can cool down a little bit, Chair. Thank you so much.